Hello, everybody, and welcome to another daily chat with Andy the Gabby Cabby, live from the garage, the closet, the warehouse, whatever else it's been called. Good to see all of you, and hope you are well. And yes, getting through this heat wave, which is no more than a heat wave than the usual 30-degree in the sunshine is. Now, I've got a few in the chat already, haven't I? Let's see who is about. And you're all saying number one. Why are you saying number one? The videos start with no adverts. Okay. What is premium? Oh, you're talking about YouTube channel memberships, are you? That's cool. Yeah. Good evening, Anna Perkins. Waiting in the queue with you all, good people. Still waiting for the rain in our corner. I think we all need a little bit of rain, don't we? Alan, I did what Alan Pate this is directed to. I have done what we discussed yesterday, and you should see that. I hope you know what I'm referring to. Oh, by the way, I brought my Samuel Girl with me because one bottle wasn't enough. I thought I'd have a second. I didn't want to confuse anybody and bring a glass out, so I thought I'd stick with a bottle. Don't you worry about that. Who else we got? Mad Spaniel, hello to you. Good to see you. John Harrington as well. Bridget, Julie Baldwin, good to see you. Cosmic War Toad. Do like a drop of Sam McGuell. Very, very nice. Countdown commence very soon. You know it. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Cove Lord John, good to see you. Julie Keys, hello. Yeah, I think we've got most of the regulars. What I'd like to do before we start proceedings, really, Lee Newcomb, hello to you. Good to see you. Patricia Short as well. I've noticed a few channel members have signed up for our at least £1 a month channel membership. I would just like to extend my thanks out to you and show my appreciation for all the support you give this channel, and also everybody else that contributes to the channel in a positive way, be it comments, likes, subscriptions, or just generally being here and having a listen along. Now, if you haven't done so already, we got, 66 watching? Let's have 66 thumbs up. Hit that like button. Let's get it going. And also, if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to the channel if you're new here. Talking of subscribers, there's one thing I want to cover before we go into tonight's subject. I received a text message to my mobile phone. I have 2 SIM cards in my mobile phone, one of which used to be publicly available, which is what I used to answer my business calls on. And these days, it isn't so publicly available. Somebody has taken the trouble to find out that number and send me a text message. It wasn't abusive. It wasn't anything like that. It was somebody asking me for my help to do with a subject I won't divulge on here. That person didn't identify themselves to me other than to say they were a subscriber. That gets my back up quickly. If you are a subscriber and you are genuinely in need, please email me using the email address you can find on the About page of this channel, or alternately, contact me via Facebook. I will not deal with anybody privately unless I know who they are, or if I've had dealings with them regularly through the channel and, I know what they were about. So if you are watching and what I've just described matches up with you, please come through and let me know. All right. Thank you very much. And it's good to see some new faces in here as well. That's excellent. And good to see everybody. Chrissy Williams, hello to you. I saw your message earlier that you've been on watch the whole time. And what we're going to talk about is probably all too familiar. Now, I want to show you a picture right now. I can work out how to get the damn thing up. Adam, hello. Good to see you. In Alex's forum topics said, should we ban Adam? Laugh out loud, bloody hell. Well, come over here. You'll be fine, Adam. There'll be no banning of you. I need a good dinghy diver rant where you've come to the right place. Right, let me show you this picture, right, if this goes on right. That is a very regular sight to our southern coastline. Fairly regular daily sight full of dinghy divers that have been scooped up somewhere around the channel. And all of those dinghies are coming in beside them. Totally unsustainable. It's just going on and on and on. I, as well as many other people, have probably had it up to here with this whole situation. They even moved it to Ramsgate very briefly because of the apparent traffic chaos down at the port. And then it went back again. And I've even been made aware of them landing at points pretty close to mine, my place, where they really shouldn't have been and have any business being. And they were quickly scooped up and moved along. How many more every day does it take for it to stop? 20,000? 21,000? 50? 100,000? How many more are going to keep coming? We had a situation the other day where it was revealed to the public that a high percentage of these guys, and I call them guys, I use that in the colloquial sense, are Albanian. They're not even from the places they claim to be. I have a problem with that. There are other news reports out there that says some of these things coming in have weapons on board. I have a problem with that. Where are they from? Who are they? What are they coming over here for? Why have they used this avenue to move across here? What are their intentions when they get here? There's a there was an article today, not for 1 second that I'm associating the two before any of the "you're a racist" mob kick off, but there's another article about big trouble in London, lots of attacks, stabbings, all that sort of thing. Where have they come from? What's caused that? This country is going to pot. We saw, I think a week ago, probably not even that we could surpass 20,000 dinghy divers by, a very, very short period of time. But what I'm seeing now, I'll show you this. Let's find this. Yes, this is the report that GB News brought out today. 21,000 dinghy divers could be here within days, folks. Within fucking days. It's just ramping up and up and up. And we know that, these... Let's just get rid of that. We know that these figures are just going to go up exponentially with no control over them whatsoever. What happens when they come here? They're put into hotels. They're put into other accommodation. Somebody told me earlier on today that apparently some of these guys have been told that these hotels aren't suitable. Go and sort yourself out on Rightmove and Zoopla. Oh, really? Who's going to pay for that, I wonder? Who's going to pay for that? How much more of this is, the good old British public going to take? How much more before something goes pop? I had someone comment on the channel the other day who said, I want names, I want locations. there are plans afoot, and I have to wonder what those plans may be. It could have just been somebody gobbing off. You never know. Cheers to that person, whoever they are. Now, I tell you, I just seen the old 5 o'clock shadow there. Don't worry, I'll do something about it. I'll give you the fine detail of this actual thing that I saw. Yeah. So we know it's likely to hit 21,000 within the coming days, right? And the figure here for Sunday, so yesterday, right? 283 migrants arrived in the UK waters in 6 small boats on Sunday. That's small boats, 283 divided by 6. I mean, let's do a bit of the maths, shall we? 283 divided 6, 47 in each boat, roughly. And they're calling them small boats. What about big boats? How many? What about kayaks? We had them bloody coming across. What is going on? Official figures from the Ministry of Defence show that 20,300 people have been detected on small boats in the Channel since the 1st of January. So you look at that, only 700 more, and we're on 21,000. Now, the date of this was, well, today at 11:13 this morning. We could have fucking surpassed it already. Again, I ask you, what's going on? The figure is close to double the number of people who arrived in small boats at the same time last year. We were warned about this, weren't we? We were warned, and it's happening exactly as we were warned. For the whole of 2021, that's last year, just over 28,500 were detected and processed by UK Border Force. Now, they're choosing their words very carefully there, aren't they? Those that were detected. What about those that weren't? You know, so you get them scooped up, and they're brought in by Border Force and the RNLI taxi service, as they are. And we know about those ones until they abscond or do whatever else. What about those that aren't? Those that don't? They land somewhere else. What about them? Weather conditions in the English Channel today are poor, with winds making the crossing extremely difficult for small boats. Despite the unfavourable conditions, 3 small boats have crossed so far with about 150 people on board. So that is, you know, what's going on even in crap weather conditions. They're still coming. Last week, the government announced that controversial plans to house up to 1,200 asylum seekers at former RAF base in Yorkshire have been abandoned. Now, I did a video covering that. There's a Linton Noose, I can't remember the bloody way you say it, but, you know, they were going to put these asylum seekers in there, and they would have outnumbered the local population by a considerable amount. They were really impressed with that idea and kicked off. That has now been abandoned. Yeah, there we go, Linton on Noose. The government has abandoned the plans, but they're still looking at alternatives. So they're not abandoning it, you know, chucking it in totally. They're still looking at alternatives to this. The alternative of using tens of thousands of hotel rooms every day at a cost of more than £5 million a day to the taxpayer was no longer sustainable, according to the Home Office. So, well, it was sustainable all the while we didn't know about it, I think is the thing. Other plans to fly thousands of asylum seekers to Rwanda, this was the other harebrained scheme of the British government, are mired in legal challenges, and the Home Office is unlikely to be able to attempt another flight until at least October. Well, they want the bloody contest out the way, don't they? This is the thing. Both candidates for the Tory party leadership have said they're still wedded to the Rwanda plan, would like to expand the policy to other countries, providing the legal difficulties can be overcome. They're not going to be overcome They're not. If anything needed overcoming, why hasn't it been overcome? Where's the will? You know, they're coming here and they get a free ride. You know, one Wanda is only taking 200 maximum. That's Joe Soap has just come out with that. And am I right in thinking? Correct me if I'm wrong, but it's a reciprocal agreement. We give them some of ours, we take some of theirs. Is that how it works? You don't get out for now in this world. I learned that lesson a very long time ago. We've got enough undesirables in Western South Yorkshire. Thanks, that's John Harrington. You get out of trouble in some places, don't they? Jeff Bridges, I do not want my tax money spent on these people. Again, a very real feeling, very real feeling. Now, somebody was trying to get my attention in here. Hi, Julie. How are you today? And you're back after the fall. You had a fall, did you, Julie? Are you okay? Let me know. Don't like people falling over. You remember when I did it and smashed up my ribs when I got rather too, at my mate's funeral? Angela Dallamore's got a plan for them. Never mind the leadership contest. Maybe should be sorting Britain out first. That's right, Cosmic. Absolutely right. My plan will work, Hoskin. And I think people are talking about plans here. I need to find their plans. They don't want cranky. Unfortunately, her reputation precedes her. That's summertime, Sue says. Here's one. The French police immigration authorities are taking back handers from people smugglers. It's so obvious. Why not UK patrol boats equipped with jet skis puncturing the dinghies while in French waters? They'd have to go rescue them then, wouldn't they? It's a very interesting proposition, that. They would have to go and rescue them. My spanner is not that big. You've seen what you mean then, Alan. I'll leave you to work out what buttons to push. It's pretty intuitive once you get the hang of it, so you should be all right. And if you want to know what to look out for, just message me and I'll let you know. But it's common sense, really. I appreciate that very much and all the support. Anna Perkins, they provide the conduit for family to come here, union rights and/or seed anchor babies ASAP, younger underage. Doesn't seem to bother them. Yes, get a foothold and then it happens. It happens. We don't need them in Yorkshire. Thank God it was stopped. That's Julie Keys. Jeff Bridges, our inept government are turning their back on this. What happened to Big Mouth? No action. Priti Patel saying she was going to sort this. Priti Patel is the one that's getting all the flack at the moment because she's coming up with these grandiose ideas. And I love their literature that they put on Twitter and all the other bollocks places to say how wonderful they are. And nothing is being done. Nothing. It carries on under our noses. And of course, you know, Rwanda, no plane ever took off. No plane is going to take off. It might be dressed up to look that way, but the lawyers will put a stop to it as quickly as it starts. And as for the crap with the channel, you know, one thing with the RNLI, for example, that always concerns me, I have a friend who likes, this is purely an example, I have a friend that likes swimming in the sea. He leaves the coast or the shoreline at a place and he'll swim out to the marker buoys. There's about 3 of them further out to shore. What if he got in trouble and needed rescuing? What chance would he have of being pulled out of the water where the resources are diverted where they are? That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Listen, this is the Daily Chat with Andy the Gabby Cabby. Thank you, everybody, for joining me this evening. We've got a nice little number again. I appreciate that and your support. If you haven't done so already, please hit the thumbs up button. get the algorithm talking about this chat. It's very, very important. If you are new to the channel as well, please consider subscribing. I appreciate that. Again, it's another form of support. And I've noticed also that some people are, you know, financially supporting the channel by joining our channel memberships, and I appreciate that too. And we will be doing a once weekly members only live stream just for them, just to give something a little back as an appreciation for the support on that. So that's great. I really appreciate it. We climbed pretty quickly to about 31,000 subscribers, and we seem to have kind of plateaued off again. But YouTube's funny like that. You can have a big jump, and then it'll go for a while, and then another big jump again. But our numbers are going, yeah, you know, in the right places, and very, very pleased. Anyway, back to the subject. After I've had enough bit of this. Okay. So they start off in Albania or wherever it happens to be, and there are recognised routes from their point of origin through countries and villages, including about 3 in France. This is all very well documented. They get to the coast, they get in a dinghy, they come over, and obviously under escort once they reach the halfway mark. How many places along that route would you say there are opportunities to stop this in its tracks? There are plenty. So the next question is, why aren't they being stopped? Where's the will? Why? You know, we had the French the other day, didn't we? The convenient picture of the dinghy on the beach getting smashed to shit. Yeah, someone just happened to be there to take the right picture at the right time. I don't believe a fucking word of it. They then get in that dinghy, come over here, and they're put into a hotel and given all the rights and privileges that they so desire, and they still moan. I'll give you a little biddy about that very shortly. And then where is all the funding for all this coming, I wonder? Yes, the British taxpayer. And meanwhile, I'm shitting myself about my gas and electricity bill, putting food on the table and fuel in my car. This country is becoming so full, we'll sink. And me sitting here saying this, I reckon all the lefty types, sorry, Dave, mate, if you're watching, you're not, you know, the kind of lefty I'm referring to here, the ones that sit a little bit further over that way than you do, will be foaming at the mouth, thinking of all nasty, horrible, disparaging names to call me. Okay. I want what's best for my country, and that makes me that way, then so be it. Okay. How do you stop it? You could bring them here, yes. You could send them to Rwanda, yes. The problem is there's too much legal bullshit and paperwork in the way. Never going to happen. You could send them somewhere else. Never going to happen for the same reason. Turn them around mid-channel. Oh, you can't do that. That's against health and safety. No, don't be nasty. Don't be nasty. Never going to happen. Those boats need to be prevented from leaving that shoreline in the first place. Now, in my view, there's 2 ways of doing this. You do what we saw in that picture, and you do it again and again and again. If the French aren't going to do it, let us do it. I know there's the whole thing about sovereignty and everything. You could have a beachhead. You could say, right, we will not go past this point. Not our jurisdiction. We will step. But the French won't have it. Why? Are they trying to push that problem over to us? I saw somebody in the chat earlier who said, you know, mentioned Brexit. And it's a guy that goes by the name *** Smith, blah, blah, blah. I know who he is. But, you know, he's welcome in the chat if he wants to contribute positively. And, you know, is that a factor? Is that what they're looking at to blame here? You know, unbelievable. But what gets me is when they come over here and they're put up at great expense, great time and great effort. I mean, let's not talk about the salaries of all the people involved, the equipment that's involved, the boats, the rafts, the life jackets, the food, the supplies, the medical treatments, the buildings, everything else. And then they complain. I was sent a video earlier of a group of them that were holding a little protest. Now, who knows who Steve Laws is? Give me a one in the chat if you know who Steve Laws is. Thank you, Julie. I see you've done the business. I'm assuming there was another comment that was a bit undesirable and I missed it. So thank you for that. Yeah, Alan knows, Julie knows. I expect everybody does. Yeah, everybody knows Steve Laws. Now, before I show you this, Chrissy, turn them all back, do legal forms of entire, hardly any would come over. They're not legal, hence the dinghy. Spot on. Make it as difficult as possible. I've cited the example of Tasmania again and again and again. They had this issue there, turned them round, sent them packing. They stopped coming. So why don't they do it here? Why do they not do it here? Well, back to Steve Laws. As you know, Steve Laws keeps a very big eye on this. He goes down there, gets personally involved, records everything. I mean, I was sent some footage once of, something that was sent from him where they were bloody sleeping in our churches. And then they were given great big stacks of pizzas and kebabs and all sorts of other things. And again, that come from information that was garnered by him. It's very, very, very bad. What's Tippy Tappy Man said? There was a protest outside Leeds Town Hall. Yeah, I've missed Tippy Tappy Man. Yeah, Alan Edge, good point. Tracy and Dave of TW Media, they're another one. They sit down there all day, every day, at great expense. And they record and monitor and catalogue everyone that's coming in. Because the mainstream media, I can guarantee you, will be under-reporting this. The figures I get, I pull them off of the papers. I pull them off of the mainstream media. I guarantee you, they're probably under-reported. But I can only go by what's put in front of me, unless anybody tells me different. But Steve put a video out earlier about some of these darlings protesting about their accommodations. I did not make this video I'm about to show you. It's a couple of minutes long. Steve Laws made it, so full credit to him. I just wanted to include it as part of this live stream and see what you make of it. Here we go. I hope you can hear it because it's the first time I've done this on my phone.
Illegal immigrants have staged a rooftop protest at a hotel in Carlisle. At the Hilltop Hotel in Carlisle, illegal immigrants have staged a protest on the roof of the building, claiming that they want to be moved somewhere else. They've stated that they feel like prisoners being kept in a hotel, a place where many of the homeless Britons would love to be kept. Ismail, an illegal immigrant, spoke on behalf of the rest of the protesting illegal immigrants and stating, "It's all about wanting to change the hotel that we're staying at. We want the government to send us to another city. We have all just got so much depression and anxiety from staying here." He went on to add, "The living conditions here are really bad. We just want to be sent to another place." At the back of the Milton Hilltop Hotel, where the illegal immigrants are protesting, some of the windows have been smashed. It's highly likely that the illegal immigrants caused this. A spokesman from Cumbria Police said, "We were made aware of a peaceful protest involving a small number of people at a property in the London Road area of Carlisle. This has now been resolved. UK police has a long history of facilitating peaceful protest and upholding the right to protest while balancing it with the duty to keep people safe. Well, that's an obvious lie. If you protest against immigration or you protest against the lockdowns, you get beaten to a pulp. The Milton Hilltop Hotel has refused to comment on the matter as it stands. To summarise, basically what's happened is the illegal immigrants have got the ump because they don't want to stay in a hotel. They want to be moved somewhere else because they're not getting 5-star treatment and they don't like it. The reality is they shouldn't even be in the country, so they should be more than grateful for being allowed to stay in a hotel when there are people starving on the streets with no roof over their head and no sign of getting a roof anytime soon that would absolutely love to be in their position. It's just another example of broken Britain.
There you go. Mad Spaniel. Give a shout out to Yorkshire Rose. She covers exactly this kind of stuff. There you go. You just done it for me. Shout out to Yorkshire Rose, another outlet, another channel. It's disturbing, isn't it? And you know, the mentality they bring over here as well. It's disturbing, absolutely disturbing. Listen, folks, we've got again good numbers here tonight. This is the daily chat with Andy the Gabby Cabby. We've been concentrating on the immigrant crisis, should we say it, to be politically correct, just for 20 seconds, and how bad it's getting. I see every day numbers which are going up and up and up and up, and they're becoming all the more disturbing every single day, and no end in sight. And our politicians, those that we vote to represent us, to protect our interests, to look after us in that place they call Parliament, do absolutely nothing. Visibly, publicly, nothing. Tie themselves up in bureaucracy, law, and other excuses such as leadership races. Meanwhile, what's happening in this country on a daily basis beggars belief. They have the problem in the United States of America as well. All right, there's not an English channel involved, but the wall got removed. Over they come. There's a very common thread that runs through the whole thing, isn't there? Every time. And I wonder, when I read the papers, what I'm going to see next. You know, it's almost as if they're not hiding it anymore. They don't care anymore. You know, here we are. This is us. We're doing this. Fuck you, basically. That's the way I feel about it. If you haven't done so already, folks, hit the like button. Let's get this algorithm talking about the Cabby live stream this evening. And if you are new here, I've seen some new names tonight. Give us a subscription, totally free to do. And you can join up as a channel member as well if you so desire. That's completely optional. No two ways about it. And subscribing is free. Only takes a minute. Well, less than that, actually. Maybe just a button push, like it does. I've actually added, I sat down and worked it out, like a little subscribe button that sits in the corner of my videos now, just to give people a little, you know, don't forget to hit that button and see if it works. Anyway, let's go and have a look at the chat, shall we, and see who it's about. John Harrington, I agree with you totally. What you said, John Harrington. History Debunked gives out some useful factual information on this. In the US, it's bad, but most there want to work when they get in. Tippy Tappy Man, Iceland have got their first delivery of dinghy divers. They're exhausted. Alan Pape, do you know how to kick them out? A lot of it, Alan, is done by, I think, depending on your browser, it's either a right click or you've got the little dots on the end, and you get the options there. And it's literally just ban. I'll let you know kind of my tolerance levels for certain things. Or alternately, just communicate with Julie. She can let you know. And also, my mate Dave is a moderator as well, and he sits there in the background pretty much every day that he can, and he has a scoot over things as well. So, hi, mate. I know you're there in the background, keeping an eye on me as well. I appreciate that. Alan, illegal economic migrants in Preston, Blackpool, Lancaster, Morecambe. Police called out twice to Morecambe Hotel there. Everywhere, probably all the strong Brexit areas. John Harrington, wish we could go back to the 50s and 60s. It was a great time. I tell you, my old man said once that if he could relive a decade all over again, it would be the 60s. I always remember him saying that. It's almost like it's a different time, I suppose. UK is a powder keg ready to go. Oh, I think that. Tony Whitworth, yeah, that's coming. I think people in the US get around the border problem by using boots and tunnels. Yeah, I remember a story. It was a while ago. Something about a drug baron or a drug group, and they had this fucking great tunnel from Mexico to the States, and it was right under the border. And I saw all the pictures and how complex it was. And you think, what? It's like Tom, Dick, and Harry with the Great Escape, you know, dug straight under the noses of everybody. And it's amazing how they got away with it for that long. There are loads who come over and get away without being counted. Yeah, Mad Mark UK, I know. I'll tell you the story, and I've told it again. I'll tell it again. I've told it before. When I was a taxi driver in the town, we used to get these things called account jobs. And basically, you would go and do them, and then you would be paid the week after. I got this account job to go down to Dover Port. And I thought, okay, didn't think anything of it. And I went down there, and I got a phone call from my office some of the way down there, and they told me who I was going to get. They said illegal immigrants. And I thought, fuck, do I turn around? What's going on? And they told me they were kids, and they'd actually been, what's the word? They'd been stashed in a cargo container of a ship, and they'd been there for about a fortnight. And it was my job to take them from where they were to where they were going. There was a processing centre up in Ashford at the time, and they had zip tie cuffs on to stop me. I said, hang on a minute. I said, once you turn them over to me for the next hour, they're my responsibility. So what happens if I leg it? And I said, let them. Okay, so how many legged it? I mean, I got these kids to where they were going. They sat in the car, went quite willingly, but yeah, interesting. And that was a few years ago, about 7 or 8 years. So I think this problem has been going on in one form or another for a lot longer than we wish to remember. 20 more likes needed to reach 150, please. Yeah, come on, folks, let's get there. And also, we've just had a big jump to 192 people watching. So let's try and get the 2 ton if we can before we go. That'd be lovely. But we've done really well on both those statistics this evening, and I'm very, very pleased. And once again, thank you, everybody, for, supporting this evening. We need to talk about this quite seriously. We need to exchange comments and swap what we think about it and how we're feeling about it. It's very important. And that's all the subscribers. Anyone just dropping in for the first time, all those of you that like stir in the pot a little bit as well. It's very relevant to everybody. Very relevant to everybody. And what we do, I'm putting a serious tone on it, because I think it's a serious matter, very serious matter, one that our government needs to deal with. And I wonder how far the stiff upper lip will go. Much further, I don't think. Not much further. Let's have another look. The country can't get much lower. Andy the Gabby Cabby, Liam T also has a YouTube channel about the same topic. Seen the W, letting us know that. Watch Yorkshire Rose. She had to put up with Antifa last week. She's very distressed. Thanks, Julie. I will check that PM out when I finish up here, and I'll reply to you. I don't know if Christine Ayres is in the house as well. I've got to reply to you as well. You sent me a message. I've not forgotten you. It's just the day's kind of gone mad. I live in Texas, close to the border, Mexico border. That's Gary Thornbury. I knew you were over there, but I wasn't quite sure where. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it, Cinny Minnie. US and UK getting invaded. Absolutely, absolutely. A couple more. Honesty and Truth. Hello, everyone. Late tonight on Rufus the dog has been to the vets. Possible tooth abscess. Antibiotics for him and gin for me. Well, I hope Rufus feels better. And cheers. Here's my beer to your gin. I hope your little person will be okay. All the people who don't want them form a human chain on the beach. To pop them back. When you are talking to people outside, you've got to be careful what you say. That's a very relevant comment, John. Very relevant. I go on about it all the time. They who control the narrative win the war. There are thousands upon thousands upon thousands of people out there that still believe what comes out of that box in front of them called the TV. Millions of pounds are thrown at this every day to control the narrative, to tell people what they need to be told in their own country. One example of which is, what's going on between Russia and Ukraine. We can no longer access certain news reports that we were once able to because they've been cut. Our access has been cut because it's all about controlling the narrative. And people around you will still believe what they're being told by that little box in front of them called a TV. And until more people start waking up, we're always going to have this problem, aren't we? You can actually well and truly fall out with people over it. I'm sure has been done. You get called conspiracy theorist, whack job, nutcase, a racist, and all the other things over difference of opinion because of what you choose to believe. It's crazy, really. Very, very complex and very, very crazy. I typed auto-tune. Well, I thought we were going to get to 200 people this evening, but it's dropped down to about 182 again. 184 actually. So I'm not sure whether that's going to come off. Can somebody give me a count of how many likes we've got? Because I can't see that. That's the frustrating thing. Mick Hardstaff, hello. I don't know if you've been here all the time. That's the first time I've seen you come in. 169. Well, that's a decent enough number, I think. 172. Ooh, and my viewers are going up again. 187, 173. Are we going to get anywhere? Let's leave it a few more seconds. 185. Well, it could be going up. I noticed, changing the subject just very briefly, just to give Bill and Phil a shout out at Police Off the Cuff. They were discussing the Alec Baldwin case again, and it's completely different from the Dinghy divers. I'm sure you're all aware of the tragic accident that happened on the Rust film set, where this young lady ended up dying because of the result of a gunshot wound, which was received from a bullet which came out of a gun in the hands of Alec Baldwin. And it was very much I never pulled the trigger. The gun went off by itself. And there's a picture, a rehearsal picture of him with the gun, with his finger on the trigger. And that seems to be up for discussion again. And there seems to be some more information coming out of the woodwork about that. And I've taken a great interest in that case, because there are certain things about it that just stink so badly. The instinct in me to look for truth amongst all the little cracks, it just doesn't sit right with me. So I'm hoping they do that stream at a reasonable time. I can go over and have a look. That will be great. Anyway, folks, I'm going to call it a night. I want to thank you very much for all your time and all your support this evening. I want to thank all of the channel subscribers, the channel members, and the general viewers which have contributed to tonight's stream in a positive way. I appreciate you all. I want to thank the moderators for doing such a great job, as they always do, protecting the channel and kicking out anybody that just wants to be a pain in the arse. Anybody that's here that is a pain in the arse, that hasn't made themselves known, again, I extend the hand out to you. You are welcome to interact and listen and join in. You get the way the game is played here, and I don't take heat with anybody until they take heat with me. It's very, very simple. I've enjoyed this evening. Very important subject to talk about, and it's going to be going on and on and on, isn't it? We need to be constantly on vigil about this. I will be here tomorrow. I'm actually at home for most of the day. I've actually got to try and meet up with a new driver. Fingers crossed and touch wood, a new driver who's going to be doing some bits and bobs for me, which will be good. And I'll be around to do some more. We'll be here tomorrow with another live, and I've got some other things to do around the house too. So like if you haven't, subscribe if you haven't. Keep safe, keep warm, do what you do, take care of each other. I'll see you tomorrow. Toodaloo.